in the last class, we had started the unit 2 forecasting, and we had completed some of the topics. What is forecasting? What is the features of forecasting? What are the process of forecasting? So what are the different flow chart? What are the different points are there in the flow chart? So where you want to start and where it is to be get exit. If you are getting any failure of the product, so where you are going to be starting again. So the things which we have learned in the process of the forecasting. So each and every point we have learned it. So in today's class, we will learn some more topics regarding the forecasting. So start. In today's class, we will learn about the general principles of forecasting. So what are the main principles of forecasting? Why the forecasting is to be get taken? Why it is to be get considered, right? So forecasting should be reliable and realistic regarding the future events. So these are different points which can be get asked in your external examinations. Okay. So next, the first point is forecasting should be reliable and realistic regarding the future events. Forecast can be done based on the historical data to estimate the future events. So third point, forecast should be developed accurately for a product line rather than of an individual product, rather than of an individual product. Class, class. Individual product, accurate and reliable forecast. Wait a few seconds. Durgarao. ఫీజుల గురించి ఇంకొకరు కట్టాలి. Railway Express. The third point, the forecast should be developed accurately for a product line rather than for individual product. The fourth is accurate and reliable forecast can be developed for a shorter time horizons rather than the longer time periods, as it is very easy to estimate the near future. So the next point, a forecast is said to be accurate and complete if it consists of a forecast estimate and the estimate of an error. And the next one should rely upon the actual data if present instead on the forecasted values. Next, forecast should reflect the strategies that the firm is willing to implement in future, but not based on their will and a wish. And next is the financial forecasting should be accurate and a complete when included all aspects related to the finance. While forecasting, one should assess all the factors affecting that problem from all the directions. And the next, the forecast should be drawn the valid assumptions. The assumptions should represent the firm's strategy and the competitive actions. The next, forecast should be maintained inconsistent with the internal environment of the organizations. So these are the different points which comes across the general principles of a forecast. So we will now understand. So one by one point. The first point, the forecasting should be reliable and realistic regarding the future events. So the whatever the forecasting you had done, so it must be very reliable and very realistic regarding which about to the future part. So whatever the products you want to manufacture in the future, so it must be a good agenda, a good data for the upcoming products in the market. So it must be when you are going to be seeing this type of forecasting methods, we can get an idea so that this type of method can be used and this cannot be to be get used. So that type of and that method of a forecasting is to be get prepared. So next is the forecast can be done based on the historical data to estimate the future events. So forecast can be done based on the historical data and the future events. So depends on the historical data means, so whatever the product, if you are going to manufacture in a present area, it was already done in 90s, in 19th part. So it is was done in the 60s, 70s. So we have to be gather the total overall the backup data, so which explains as an historical data. So depends on the historical data only, we are going to estimating what can be used in a future part. So whether those historical data can be done, can be very good for our future events or not. Next, the forecast should be developed accurately for a product line rather than for an individual product. So whatever the forecast you are going to be doing, it must be accurately for a product, not for an individual part. So whatever the points you are going to be, whatever the data you are going to be gathering, it must not be related to individual product. It must be related to an overall product. It must be related to an overall product. And next is accurate and reliable forecast can be developed for a shorter time horizons rather than a longer time periods. Accurate and reliable forecast should be developed for a shorter time, not for a rather time, not for a longer time. Because in a shorter time, we are going to be done. The product is to be done within a year, within a year. And what is the nature of decisions you are going to be taken is it is totally a tactical decisions that depends. And whatever the effects of forecasting, whatever the nature of the data, it totally depends on the quantitative data, not of a statistical data. It depends on the quantitative. So when you are going to be defining a certain product, better to use for a short term compared to a long term. Because when you are going to be considering a long term, it explains about the statistical and as well as the quantitative data, and it takes more than 5 years of the time to complete your product. So it depend. It easily it better to take a shorter path compared to a longer path. Next, a forecast is said to be accurate and complete if it consists of a forecast estimate and estimate of an error. So whatever the forecast you are going to be taken, it must be get accurate results. It must be taken as an accurate part, not as a precision part. So when you are going to be depending on that one, it must be good. Okay, so the next alternative cannot be get seen. Where this is the main thing which we have to be considered. That is the point which we have to be. Next, one should rely upon the actual data present instead of an forecasted values. So when we are going to be comparing with the historical data, we have to be compared with an actual values. No, we must not estimate. We must not take an examples of different types of values. Maybe it can be this much of value in the future. So we must not take like that. So we have to be compared with an actual value to the previous value. Next, the forecast should reflect the strategies that the firm is willing to implement in future, but not based on their will and a wish. So it must be taken this whatever the forecasted historical data was selected, it must be implemented. It must be uh, totally approved by management only, by the management only, not as a wish you had to be get taken. It must be get approved by the higher authorities. Then only you have to be get taken the data. Next, the financial forecasting should be accurate and complete when included all aspects related to the finance. So forecasting should be accurate and complete when included all aspects related to the finance. So while forecasting, one should assess all factors affecting that problem from all the directions. So when you are going to be taking in his forecasting part, it must be related to the financial part also in all the type of directions, not only seeing a certain technological part. We have to see what are the different ways there to complete the product, what are the different types of investments they had put it, and what are the different types of uses of that one. So how the exports and imports can be get done for a certain product. So each and every direction we have to be get calculated for a certain product. Next, the forecast should be drawn the valid assumptions. So the assumption should represent the firm's strategy and competitive actions. The forecast should be drawn the valid assumptions. The assumption should represent the firm's strategy and the competitive actions. So the forecast should be maintained in consistence with the internal environment of the organization. So whatever the forecast we had considered, it must be get consistent with the internal environment of the organization also. Clear? So these are the different principles of a forecasting which are to be framed. Next, what is meant by demand forecasting? So demand forecasting is also known as a sales forecasting. What is meant by demand forecasting? And it is also known as a sales forecasting. So the first point is, what is demand forecasting? So it is an estimate of the sales in a dollars or the physical units for a specified future period under a proposed marketing plan or program, and under an assumed set of economic and other forces outside the unit for which the forecast is made. For which the forecast is made. So once again, I'm repeating, it is an estimate of the sales. So we are estimating what type of the sales are getting in form of a rupees, in form of a money. So or the physical units, or else the physical units for a specified future period, for a specified future period, and a proposed marketing plan, under a proposed marketing plan or a program, and under an assumed set of economic and other forces outside the unit for which the forecast is made, for which the forecast is made. So the two authors are there. They had given two different types of meanings, definitions. So one author, Philip Kotler, he's explaining that the company sales forecast is the expected level of a company sales based on a chosen marketing plan and assumed marketing environment. So Philip Kotler, he defines that the company sales forecast is the expected level of company sales, is the expected level of company sales based on the chosen marketing plan. So whatever the plan you had prescribed to complete your product, that is a plan, depends on that plan whether you are going to be getting the correct profits or not. So marketing environment. So next, the second author, Kandif and A. Still. So he defines that sales forecast is an estimate of the sales during a specified future period, which is tied to proposed a marketing plan and which assumes particular set of uncontrollable and competitive forces. Okay, so he states that the sales forecast is an estimate of a sales. The sales forecast is an estimate of a sales during a specific future period, during a specific future period, which is tied to a proposed marketing plan, which is tied to a proposed marketing plan and which assumes particular set of uncontrollable and competitive forces. Particular set of uncontrollable and competitive forces. So it explains about the demands or sales forecasting. Okay. So we will say what is the objectives of a forecasting. So do you understand what is this? So demand forecasting is only about what type of sales you are going to be getting. Depends on the product, depends on the demand of the product. So we are going to be get forecasting whatever the future product, whatever the future demand of your product. So when this type of product was introduced in the market, so whether there was a demand for it, or else when you are going to be getting some demand over a certain product from the customers, which you had closed a past 10 years back. So when you want to release the same product now, so will you get the same sales? So that is nothing but an estimation of your sales on a certain demand of a forecasting. Okay. Next. So we will say what are the objectives of a forecasting so that we can understand some more things. So to develop, the first point is to develop an appropriate production policy. So develop the appropriate production policy. Next, to ensure regular and continuous supply of raw materials. To ensure regular and continuous supply of raw materials. To make the best utilization of the machines. To ensure availability of a labor and to avoid shortage of a personnel. To ensure availability of labor and to avoid shortage of a personnel. To get the sales target, to plan plant capacity according to the demand, to estimate the cash inflows, to determine the dividend policy, to plan run production, to prepare budget for income and expenditure of the organization. So these are the different objectives. Okay, see, once again, the first one is to develop an appropriate production policy. So you are going to framing a fun type of production policy. So relate to a certain type of demand forecasting. Next, to ensure a regular, a continuous supply of raw materials. So when you are going to be started a type of product which is having more demand in the market, then we have to be make an agenda that whether there is a good supply of raw material continuously to a certain product or not. So when each and every criteria was supposed to be get accepted only, we have to get start our product. Next, to make the best utilization of the machines. So when you are going to be starting a product, we have to be see that also whether all the machines are to be get used or not, or else only one machine was utilized. So whether all the machines which are there in your production, which are there in your workflow, whether it was used or not, that is to be get seen. Next, to ensure availability of a labor and to avoid shortage of a personnel. So to ensure availability of a labor, so we have to check it, whatever the availability of a labor, and we have to check there must not be any shortage of your personal things, not personal things, only shortage of your raw materials or raw materials of a, or else a small pieces which are going to buying, or else any things that to be get avoided. Okay. Next, to get the sales target. So we have to get the sales target. Next, to plan the plant capacity according to the demand. According to demand, you have to plan the plant capacity. So to estimate the cash inflows, to determine the dividend policy, to plan the run production, to plan run production. So whatever the planning you had done is to the production must be get run. The production must be get run by utilizing some machines or more machines, or else some material or more material. But the main target is the production must be get continuous. Next, to prepare a budget for income and expenditure of the organization. Next, what is the need for of a demand forecasting? What is the need for a demand forecasting? So it serves as a roadmap. So you had seen what are the objectives. Now see the demand. It serves as a roadmap for the production plans. Roadmap for a production plan. Because when you have taken a previous data which was related to the present product, so you can understand, you can estimate that, okay, this is the main path which is to be get followed so that our work can be get completed. Okay. Next, it plays a significant role in situations of uncertain production or demand. It plays a significant role of certain in situations of uncertain production or demand. Next, the outcomes of a demand forecasting facilitate the managers to line up their business activities. The outcomes of the demand forecasting facilitate the managers to line up their business activities. Next, the demand forecasting results form a basis for export and import policy and fiscal policy. Okay, when you are going to preparing something, you had to also be checked that whether it is having an export and import business in a correct manner or not. Next, in situations of a competition, it can help a manager or a businessman to take the decisions regarding inputs of the production plans, such as a labor, capital, etc. So when you are going to be doing a competitive production, so competitive business in the market, we also check that whether that type of techniques are there in our company, that type of machines are there in our company or not, or that type of labor which are very tuned, which are very skilled, or else that much capital can be kept by our management or not, by our organization or not. We have to see each and everything before we are going to be start a competitive business in the world. Okay, so these are the different need of a demand forecasting. So you had seen that what is a demand forecasting. So it totally depends on whatever the sales. Next, what are the objectives of a forecasting? So what are the need of a forecasting? And next, we will say about what is the importance of a demand forecasting. Why it is more important? Why it is more important? The demand forecasting. So it explains under 5 different types. One is the planning the production activities. It explains under the 5 different types. One is the planning production activities. The second one is sales forecasting. Second one is sales forecasting. Third, to control the business. Fourth, to control inventory. Fifth, the long-term investment. Fifth is long-term investment. So the first one is planning the production activities. The planning the production activities. So it explains that how the proper plan is to be get done to know the production capacity and bringing the necessary changes. So how the proper plan is to be get done to complete to know the total forecasting, whether and bringing some necessary changes. So it can be dependent on an accurate demand forecasting. Can dependent on accurate demand forecasting. Next, sales forecasting. Sales forecasting, you already came the definition in the past slide. It is nothing but it is a planning future situations. It depends on the future situations whether the product has a good demand in the market or not. So if future as future is uncertain, every firm aims to be get forecast. So you don't know what the future can be. You can predict for only a 50%, but we can't predict for only 30, 100%, right? So whatever depends on the future events only, the sales are to be getting. Okay. Next, to control the business. So a business needs to have a control over its expenses. A business needs to be have control over its expenses, and for this reason, firms are required to prepare the budget of a cost and revenue occurring in the future. So for this thing, the firm must be in a position to prepare a budget of a cost and revenue occurring in a future. So for preparing such budgets, demand forecasting is essential. For preparing such budgets, demand forecasting is essential. Next, to control the inventory. So how you are going to be controlling the inventory? So you know what is meant by inventory. So how you are going to be see each and everything, what is the maintenance can be get done for an inventory things. So inventory is nothing but we are going to be storing the raw materials, storing the pieces, products, a small pieces which was bought from some another vendors. You are going to be having a stock of a number of things. Okay, that is nothing but an inventory. So depend inventory have to be checked each and every time because we are putting a lot of amount, lot of capital for inventory, but you are not taking a good maintenance regarding those materials or those stuff. What happens? Whatever the capital you had invested over that thing, it is wastage. So you have to be see, you have to be control over an inventory also. Next, a long-term investment. So I had already told the long-term investment is 5 years. It is more than 5 years, and it is taken about the qualitative and as well as a subjective strategic parts. It is not a tactical decision. It is a quantitative and as well as a subjective parts, and as well as it is taking a strategic decisions. It is not a tactical decisions. They are going to be taken as a statistical decisions. So when you are going to be planning for a certain product, sometimes it's to be get taken for a new product, for a new product which was not there in the market. You want to be you want to be get start a new product, then it comes under the long term. So how the financial planning, it comes under the long. So this explains the importance of a demand forecasting. So the first one is planning the production activities, second sales forecasting, third to control the business, fourth to control the inventory, fifth is to the long term investment. Okay. So next, so what are the factors involved in a forecasting? So what are the factors involved in a forecasting? So we are having 6 different types of factors. We are having 6 different types of factors. The first one is a forecasting length, the second forecasting levels, the third product classification, fifth general or specific forecast, fifth and forecasting problems and methods, and sixth is special factors, right? So these are the 6 factors which involves in a forecasting. The first one is forecasting length, which is divided again into 3 types. One is a short-term forecasting, the medium-term forecasting, and the long-term forecasting. And the other name of a forecasting length, you can also see that you can also say that it is a time horizon. It is a time horizon because depends on the time this type of a forecasting is to be get selected. So see, whatever the type of a short term or a medium or a long term, what you are going to be telling, this time, this much time is to be get taken for a certain type of product. This time is to be taken for a certain type of product. So that is nothing but a time horizon also. So forecasting length, the other name is time horizon. So it is having 3 types. One is a short term forecasting, medium term forecasting, and a long term forecasting. So the second one is forecasting levels. One is a micro level, industry level, and a macro level. The third one is a product classification. Fourth, general or specific forecast. Fifth, forecasting problems and methods. Sixth is special factors. Okay. So the first one, short-term forecasting. As I had explained in the last class and this class also, what is a short-term, medium-term, and a long-term. So short-term, it is up to 1 year. Medium-term, it is up to 1 to 3 years. The long-term, it is up to 5 years. It is more than 5 years. So come to the short term, it is taking a tactical decisions because it is upon a 1 year only. It is of only 1 year. So we are going to be taking a tactical decisions. Whereas a medium and a long term, it is upon a strategic decisions. It is not a tactical. It is of a strategic decisions because some time is was there. Next, so there is some. What is the nature of the data we are going to be collecting under the short term? So under the short term, the nature of data is quantitative. It is a quantitative, not it is of a subjective part. It is a quantitative, whether you are getting a correct output or not, whether you are getting whether you are giving a certain input and you are getting a certain output or not. But whereas a medium term and a long term, it totally explains about the subjective and as well as the quantitative. It explains about the subjective and as well as the quantitative part. So this the short term, it is of very less period. The short term is very of less period. So whether whatever the uncertainties things are there, that is to be get avoided in a short term. Uncertainty things which are not used in this part in a certain product, it can be get avoided. So whereas in a medium term, it is of very medium part, 1 to 3 years. So and it is a long term, it is 5 years. So whatever the uncertainty things, it can be taken a very high degrees also. So we can consider that part also. Uncertainty things also can be get considered because it can be some of the future work for some other part. Okay. So next, what are the uses of this one? So the under the short term, the uses are quarterly production planning, procurement planning. It comes under the quarterly production planning and a procurement planning. Whereas a medium term, it is of annual production and a capacity planning. Annual production and a capacity planning. So whereas a long term, it comes under the new product developments and a long-term financial planning. New product developments and long-term financial planning. Okay. Next, we will see about what is the forecasting levels. So what is the forecasting levels? So forecasting levels, micro level. Forecasting levels is micro level. So micro level is explains that whatever the forecasting you are going to be taken, it is of individual business. It is of individual business for predicting its product demand. So predicting its product demand. So for a micro level demand forecasting, it is of an individual business for predicting of product demand. Next, industry level. So industry level explains that so it is concerned with predicting the market demand of the product offered by an industry as a whole. It concerned with a predicting the market demand, concerned with the predicting the market demand of the product offered by an industry as a whole. So it is carried out by an trade or an industrial association. Okay. Next, macro level. Macro level is it is estimating the overall demand of a product. Okay. So the micro level, it is only estimating the only certain individual product. Whereas at industry level, it explains about the overall things, comes under the industrial part. Whereas a macro level, it explains about the estimation of overall demand of a product, which was produced from your industry, as a whole. Okay, not of a certain thing. It explains about certain part. Okay, so it is a macro level product. Next, product classification. So product classification means when you are going to be manufacturing certain product, we have to check whether it is a consumable part or a non-consumable part, whether it is consumable or a non-consumable. So it depends on the consumable and non-consumable items only. We have to be get manufacture certain type of products, and depends on those things only. We have to be get consider whether it is a short or a medium or else it is to be taken as a long. Okay. Next, the general or a specific forecast. So general or a specific forecast means it explains about how accurate you are going to be. So how uniform. Okay. So it must be specific. Specific forecast. Specific forecast means a specific thing you are going to be considering. So whatever the products we are going to manufacturing, it must be uniform. It must be uniform. No errors. It must be uniform and it must be have a good accuracy. Okay. And the forecasting problems and methods. So forecasting problems means it can be vary from the old method to a new product. It can be vary from an old product to a new product. But we must be in a position to record each and every data regarding the old data and as well as the new data. Okay. Next, so it depends on the new products sales. It depends on the new product sales. And next is special factors. Special factors explains about what is the factors include about the nature of competition, incalculable risk, probable forecasting errors, or a complexity of uncertain environment. Okay, so the factors include nature of competition, incalculable risk, probable forecasting errors, complexity of uncertain environment. Complexity of uncertain environment. So these are things which comes under the spatial factors. Okay. So this the slide which explains about the factors involved in forecasting. So the next, the techniques of a demand forecasting. So what are the different techniques are there under the demand forecasting? Okay. So demand forecasting is the thing which is to be more used in your industry. Which is more used in your industry. So demand forecasting techniques, we are having two types of techniques. One is a qualitative or judgmental methods. The second is as quantitative or statistical methods. Qualitative or judgmental, and second one is quantitative or statistical methods. So qualitative or judgmental methods, it explains about executive opinion method, Delphi method, Salesforce composite method, survey buyer's intention method, and test marketing method. The first one, executive opinion method, Delphi method, Delphi method, Salesforce compositive method, Salesforce composite method. The fourth one is survey bias intention method. Fifth one is test marketing method. Okay. Next, quantitative or statistical methods. The first one is correlation analysis. Correlation analysis, regression analysis, time series analysis. Okay. And barometric technique. And next one is econometric analysis. Next one is econometric analysis. So these are the 5 different types. One is the correlation analysis, the regression analysis, time series analysis, and barometric technique and economic analysis. Barometric technique or econometric analysis. So under time series analysis, you are having again 5. One is a graphic method. One is a graphic method. The second, semi-average method. The next, moving average method. And next, least square method. And next is exponential method. Next is least square exponential method. And graphic method, semi-average method, moving average method, least square method, and last is exponential method. Okay, students. So these are the different things which explains about the quantitative or statistical methods. Okay. So I will explain about the demand forecasting technique in the next class. We will start in the next class, each and every formula, how it is to be get written, what are the different factors are there under each and every techniques. What are the different factors are there and what are the examples, under which example it can be get used. Okay, so what are the different points are there for each and every, what are the advantages of it, what are the disadvantages of it for each and every point. Okay, so we will explain this one in the next class. Okay, students, with this today's class is completed. You can leave. You can leave the session.